Have you ever noticed how the smallest choices often carry the biggest consequences? You wake up. The sun peeks through the curtains. You stretch, walk to the kitchen, and grab your usual morning drink. It feels innocent, familiar, comforting. Maybe it's a sweet iced coffee, a splash of fruit juice, or just nothing at all. You skip the drink entirely. But what if I told you that this one tiny moment, the first thing you sip or skip after waking, could silently determine whether your brain stays healthy or whether you suffer a life-changing stroke? It sounds dramatic, maybe even hard to believe. But as someone who has spent decades researching brain health and the challenges of aging, I can tell you this with complete certainty. Most strokes in people over 60 don't come out of nowhere. They come from daily routines, from habits that seem harmless, but are anything but safe. And shockingly, your morning drink could be one of the biggest culprits. Welcome to Daily Elder Advice. At Daily Elder Advice, we don't just talk about getting older, we talk about living wiser. We're a community built for seniors, caregivers, and lifelong learners who want more than just good health. We want clarity, purpose, and the freedom to enjoy every year we're gifted. Whether it's your morning routine, your nutrition, or your emotional well-being, we're here to bring you the latest science, timeless wisdom, and real-life stories that make aging something to embrace, not fear. So if you're over 60 or love someone who is, you're in the right place. Today, I'll walk you through 5 drinks that millions of seniors consume every morning. Some of them spike your stroke risk without warning. Others can actually help protect your brain and blood vessels from aging too fast. And yes, we'll expose the single biggest morning mistake, a common habit that can triple your risk of stroke if you're not careful. You'll also hear the story of Martha, a 71-year-old retired teacher whose stroke at 6:42 a.m. completely changed the way her family approaches breakfast and hydration. Trust me, it's a moment that will stay with you, so get comfortable. Grab a pen and a glass of water, because the choices you make tomorrow morning might just rewrite your entire future. Let's begin. First, sweetened iced coffee, a hidden threat for older brains. Let's talk about a morning favorite that many seniors turn to without a second thought: iced coffee. Especially on warm mornings, it feels like a refreshing start, light, energizing, and harmless. But for those over 60, sweetened iced coffee may be doing silent harm to your brain and your heart. The issue isn't coffee itself. The danger lies in how it's prepared. Most store-bought or cafe-style iced coffees are loaded with sugar, flavored syrups, sodium-rich creamers, and artificial ingredients. This combination, when consumed first thing in the morning on an empty stomach, can create a chain reaction inside the aging body. Blood sugar surges, blood pressure spikes, blood vessels constrict, and your brain, still waking up and already slightly dehydrated, receives less oxygen than it needs. Scientific studies have shown that this sudden combination of caffeine and sugar thickens the blood and forces the heart to work harder, conditions that increase your risk of clot formation and stroke, especially in the fragile morning hours. I've seen this firsthand in older adults I've worked with over the years. One woman in particular, a retired nurse in her 70s, started every day with a light, caramel iced coffee from a well-known chain. She thought it was a small indulgence, but when we broke it down, her daily coffee contained over 40 grams of sugar and a hidden overload of sodium and unhealthy fats. She had no idea it could affect her memory, her blood pressure, and even her stability when walking. Once she made the switch to unsweetened cold brew with almond milk, she noticed big changes: more stable energy, clearer thinking, and healthier blood pressure readings. And all she did was change her drink. That's the good news. You don't have to give up coffee, but you do need to treat it as more than just a habit. Brew it at home if you can, skip the sugar, avoid flavored creamers, and drink a glass of water before your first sip. Even a sprinkle of cinnamon instead of sugar can make a real difference. It supports blood sugar balance and helps reduce inflammation. It may seem like a small adjustment, But after the age of 60, every small choice adds up. And your first drink of the day may matter more than any other. Choose wisely for your heart, your brain, and your future. Second, packaged fruit juices. For decades, fruit juice has been marketed as the healthy choice, the natural way to get your vitamins in the morning. Orange juice with breakfast, apple juice for hydration, grape juice for antioxidants. It all sounds good, especially for older adults trying to make smarter choices. But here's what the labels don't tell you. Packaged fruit juices, even those labeled 100% juice, can be deceptively harmful to aging bodies, especially when consumed first thing in the morning. The problem lies in how your body processes sugar, particularly as you age. Most packaged juices are stripped of their natural fiber during production, leaving behind a concentrated liquid full of fast-absorbing sugars. When seniors drink juice on an empty stomach, the glucose from the juice floods the bloodstream almost immediately. This sudden sugar spike raises blood pressure, stresses the cardiovascular system, and causes inflammation in the arterial walls. Worse yet, the absence of fiber means there's nothing to slow the sugar's absorption, and that leads to a rapid crash in energy, a confused metabolism, and a stressed-out brain. Over time, these repeated sugar surges, morning after morning, can increase your risk of stroke, especially if you already deal with high blood pressure or artery stiffness. I remember one man I met, a 68-year-old retired postman named Carl, who prided himself on starting every morning with a tall glass of real orange juice. He hadn't eaten breakfast yet, but the juice, he said, gave him a good burst of energy. What he didn't know was that his blood sugar levels were wildly unstable. After replacing his store-bought juice with whole oranges, blended with water, and a spoonful of chia seeds, Carl's energy stopped crashing. His doctor even noted a remarkable improvement in his blood pressure readings just weeks later. That wasn't a coincidence. It was the result of giving his brain and blood vessels what they truly needed: slow, steady fuel. So what can you do instead? If you love the taste of fruit in the morning, try eating whole fruit rather than drinking it. Better yet, make a simple smoothie with real fruit, filtered water, and a tablespoon of flax or chia seeds for added fiber. You'll get the vitamins, yes, but also the balance, the hydration, and the stability your aging brain craves. The truth is, your brain doesn't need a sugar flood. It needs oxygen, consistency, and gentle support. And that support starts not with what's bottled, but with what's real. Third, diet sodas and zero-sugar lies. In a world obsessed with cutting calories, diet sodas often seem like the smarter choice. No sugar, no calories, no guilt. For many seniors trying to manage weight or blood sugar, that zero on the label feels like a green light. But what if I told you that these so-called healthier options might be even more dangerous than their sugary counterparts, especially for aging brains? Here's the uncomfortable truth. Diet sodas are full of artificial sweeteners like aspartame, sucralose, and acesulfame potassium. These chemicals trick your brain into thinking you're consuming sugar, which causes your metabolism and insulin levels to respond, even though no real sugar is present. This metabolic confusion can increase insulin resistance over time, damage blood vessel integrity, and even raise blood pressure. More concerning for seniors, several studies have linked daily diet soda consumption with a higher risk of stroke and dementia, especially in those over 60. I'll never forget the case of Mrs. Evelyn, a 73-year-old woman who came to me after her second mini-stroke. She didn't smoke, she exercised daily, and her weight was stable. But she drank 3 cans of diet soda every day for over 2 decades. She believed it was harmless, better than sugar, she would say. After we reviewed her diet together, she made one change, switching her sodas for sparkling water with fresh lemon slices and a splash of cranberry juice. Within 3 months, her blood pressure stabilized, her headaches stopped, and most importantly, her risk factors for stroke dropped significantly. There's another hidden danger too: dehydration. Many people don't realize that both regular and diet sodas are diuretics. They pull water from your system. And for seniors, dehydration is already a common issue that increases the thickness of your blood and raises your chance of clot formation. That's a dangerous mix when your goal is to keep blood flowing easily to the brain. If you love carbonation, and let's be honest, many of us do, consider healthier alternatives like mineral water or naturally flavored sparkling water without added sweeteners. Add some citrus, a few cucumber slices, or even fresh herbs like mint for flavor. You're not just replacing a drink, you're giving your brain a gift: hydration without confusion, refreshment without risk. In the end, the number on the label doesn't tell the full story. Zero sugar doesn't mean zero danger. Especially after 60, what you choose to drink can quietly shape your brain's future. And some choices, like diet soda, just aren't worth the risk. Fourth, energy and sports drinks, a silent danger for aging hearts. Energy drinks, sports drinks, they're everywhere, from TV commercials to convenience store shelves, promising to boost stamina, sharpen focus, and rehydrate your body faster than water ever could. To the average consumer, these brightly colored bottles and cans look like a quick fix. But for seniors over 60, they may be a quiet storm brewing inside the bloodstream, one sip at a time. Let's start with energy drinks. Most of them are loaded with high doses of caffeine, sometimes 2 to 3 times more than a standard cup of coffee. But it doesn't stop there. They also contain stimulants like guarana, taurine, and artificial additives that jack up your heart rate and blood pressure almost immediately. For a younger person, this can cause jitters or insomnia. But for an older adult, this rapid stimulation can be life-threatening, triggering irregular heartbeats, arrhythmias, and in some cases, strokes or heart attacks. Sports drinks, on the other hand, often market themselves as a healthier option. After all, they contain electrolytes, right? But dig a little deeper, and you'll find most commercial sports drinks are full of refined sugars, sodium, and artificial dyes. For someone over 60, especially those with pre-existing heart conditions, high blood pressure, or kidney issues, this is a toxic mix. It doesn't just add stress to the heart. It dehydrates you at the cellular level, disturbs your electrolyte balance, and narrows your blood vessels when you need them to stay open and flexible. I once worked with a man named Joseph, a 66-year-old former gym coach, who still prided himself on his hydration routine. Every morning, before eating or drinking water, he downed a bottle of an energy-boosting electrolyte drink marketed toward athletes. He thought it was keeping him sharp and strong. But after experiencing shortness of breath, elevated heart rate, and brain fog, we ran a few tests. His blood pressure was dangerously high, spiking in the mornings. Once he eliminated the energy drink and replaced it with warm lemon water and a pinch of sea salt, his symptoms faded within weeks. He was shocked. "I thought I was helping myself," he said, "but I was slowly pushing my body toward a stroke." That's the tricky thing about these drinks. They're marketed with words like focus, hydrate, and performance. But they are not designed for older bodies. They were never intended for people managing aging arteries, delicate circulation, and a slower metabolism. Your heart after 60 simply doesn't need stimulation. It needs support, hydration, and consistency. If you feel sluggish in the mornings, don't reach for a can of chemical energy. Instead, start your day with something your body actually recognizes. A full glass of water, maybe with lemon or cucumber, and a light meal with natural minerals like magnesium or potassium. Your brain doesn't need to be jolted, it needs to be nourished. The difference could be life-saving. Fifth, the one deadly mistake: skipping morning water. Of all the habits we've covered so far, none are as deceptively dangerous or as heartbreakingly common as this one: skipping your morning water. It sounds harmless. After all, what's the rush? You'll drink something later: coffee, tea, juice. But the truth is, Failing to hydrate first thing in the morning is one of the most silent and overlooked stroke risks for older adults. And it happens before you even realize it. After 7 to 8 hours of sleep, your body wakes up in a mild state of dehydration. Your blood is thicker. Your brain cells are drier. Your heart has to work harder to push blood through tighter vessels. This natural state is manageable, but only if you respond to it immediately. When you skip water and instead reach for coffee or juice, or worse, nothing at all, you're amplifying a problem your body was already struggling with. The result? Increased clotting risk, reduced oxygen delivery to the brain, and a tripled chance of stroke in the early hours of the day. This isn't a theory. It's a biological reality, especially after 60, when the body's thirst mechanism dulls. Many seniors simply don't feel thirsty in the morning, but that doesn't mean their bodies don't need water. In fact, this is when hydration matters most. I once met a quiet, soft-spoken man named Leonard, 71 years old, seemingly healthy, no history of heart disease. He was independent, active, and proud of his morning routine. Wake up, skip breakfast, sip coffee while reading the news. But one morning, everything changed. He collapsed in his living room with a minor stroke. The doctors found no major warning signs except one: severe dehydration. It had thickened his blood, raised his pressure, and slowed his circulation. After his recovery, he made one commitment: drink a full glass of water before anything else every single day. In his words, "That glass gave me a second chance." So what should you do? Simple. Make drinking water the very first thing you do after waking up. Not cold water from the fridge, which can shock your system, but room temperature water, plain, clean, and unflavored. It doesn't need to be fancy. It just needs to be consistent. This single act can lower your blood viscosity, help flush out toxins, loosen up your vessels, and deliver much-needed hydration to your brain and heart before caffeine, sugar, or stress take over your system. It may be the easiest habit to form, but it's also the one most likely to save your life. What you can do today: a safer morning routine for a sharper brain. Now that we've uncovered the 5 hidden habits that can quietly increase your stroke risk, the question becomes, what can you actually do about it? The good news is, you don't need a complicated routine or expensive supplements. What you need is clarity, consistency, and a few deliberate steps to start your day in a way that protects your heart, sharpens your brain, and lowers your overall risk. Here's a simple but powerful morning ritual that every senior over 60 should consider. Think of it as a stroke prevention checklist, one that takes less than 10 minutes but could add years of clarity and independence to your life. Step 1. Drink a full glass of room temperature water. Before coffee, before tea, before food. This rehydrates your cells, thins your blood naturally, and improves oxygen flow to the brain. Add a slice of lemon if you like, but keep it simple. Make it non-negotiable. Step 2. Skip sugary and artificial drinks. If it comes in a bottle with bright colors and long ingredient lists, leave it on the shelf. Whether it's soda, packaged juice, or energy drinks, these beverages work against your aging vessels. Choose herbal teas, infused waters, or home-brewed coffee with healthy add-ins like cinnamon or nut milk. Step 3. Include natural electrolytes. A pinch of sea salt or a few slices of cucumber in your water can help balance electrolytes without overwhelming your heart. Unlike commercial sports drinks, this doesn't spike your blood pressure or burden your kidneys. Step 4. Fuel your brain, not just your body. Instead of sugar rushes, give your brain what it truly needs: healthy fats and slow-digesting foods. A small handful of walnuts, a slice of avocado toast, or oatmeal with chia seeds can stabilize blood sugar and support mental clarity. Step 5. Move gently right after hydrating. After your glass of water, take a short walk around your home. Do some light stretching, or simply stand near a window and breathe deeply. Movement increases circulation, wakes up your muscles, and encourages brain activity, all while lowering your risk of clots. These small steps are not just preventative, they are corrective. They help undo years of harmful habits, support better decision-making, and signal to your body, I'm taking care of you today. And that matters, especially after 60. Every drop of water you drink, every sugary drink you avoid, every smarter swap you make, those aren't just habits. They are acts of self-respect, of protection, and of love, both for yourself and for those who care about you. So now you know. It's not just the food we eat that silently shapes our health after 60. It's also what we drink, and especially what we choose to drink first thing in the morning. Throughout this video, we've uncovered 5 common habits that millions of older adults follow without knowing the risks. From sweetened iced coffee and bottled fruit juices to diet sodas and so-called energy drinks, these seemingly normal choices can thicken the blood, stress the heart, spike your pressure, and quietly raise your risk of a stroke, often without symptoms until it's too late. And then there's the most dangerous mistake of all, skipping water entirely. It's the simplest thing to fix, and yet the one most often ignored. After a night of sleep, your body wakes up needing hydration. And if you deny it that gift, the consequences can be devastating. But here's the good news. None of this is set in stone. You can change your risk. You can protect your brain. You can start tomorrow morning. And it doesn't require a medical degree, a pile of prescriptions, or a complete lifestyle overhaul. All it takes is a glass of water, a mindful moment, and the choice to honor the body you've lived in for 6 decades or more. Choosing the right drink in the morning isn't just about avoiding illness. It's about building a better future. It's about feeling clear-headed, energized, and in control. It's about showing your loved ones what strength truly looks like in later life. And most of all, it's about choosing to live not just longer, but better. So here's my invitation to you. Tomorrow, before the coffee, before the news, before the rush of the day, drink a full glass of water. Let that be your first act of self-care. Replace just one harmful drink with something healing. Then watch what happens over time. You may feel a little more steady, a little more clear, a little more alive. Because sometimes, the smallest sip is what makes the biggest difference. If this message resonated with you, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to Daily Elder Advice, and share this with someone you care about. You never know whose life it might save. And in the comments below, let us know, what will you be drinking tomorrow morning and why? We'd love to hear your story.